A car stops in front of a beautiful mountain house. Mara gets out, a mother who is completely broken inside, but trying to look strong from outside. Her husband Gustavo passed away in this same house some time ago. Now Mara has come to empty this house and sell it. With her is her about 8 to 9-year-old daughter Lide, who has a very deep attachment to this house and the jungle. This is the place of memories of her and her dad. Gustavo's younger brother Luis, his wife Elena, and son Dani have also come to help. The children are playing outside, racing, throwing ball, teasing each other. The adults get busy in packing. The real estate agent gives keys to Mara and says that the furniture is great, we can ask for 20,000 more. Mara agrees. Mara clearly says, one box for donations, the other for trash. Elena finds Gustavo's old things, in which there is also a vest that looks completely new. Mara says, I am not going to wear the vest. Luis or you keep it, just keep it away from my eyes. A serious talk happens between Luis and Elena. Elena says that Mara will regret this decision. We cannot pretend that Gustavo was never there, selling the house, throwing his clothes. He was your brother. Elena believes that Mara should face the grief, not run away. Luis slowly answers, maybe this is what they're trying to do. At lunchtime, Lida asks, why are we selling this place? I like it a lot. I would never sell it. Mara explains to her that they are buying a new beautiful place near the beach, right next to Luis and Elena's house, so that everyone can spend vacations together. Lid will miss the woods, but Luis makes a plan for mushroom picking. He tells, the smooth and white ones are fit to eat, red with white spots ones are poisonous. Just then the neighbor Santiago comes. He works in the environment department and is handling the responsibility of Firebreak. He has brought a beautiful butterfly from the jungle for Lid. Mara introduces everyone. Santiago meets the family, offers help, and goes away. Elena says, he looks nice. Mara tells that Gustavo used to spend time with him. Luis says in a little cynical voice, I was seeing him lifting boxes since morning, now offering help. When we drive off, he will say, need a hand, man. Suddenly, white particles start falling outside. This is not snow, it is ash. On TV, breaking news of Wildfire is running. The fire has burned more than 2,500 acres of jungle. Firefighters are trying their best, but the long dry spell has increased the speed of the fire. Hope is being placed on the Firebreak. Luis directly says, Firebreaks don't work. Mara immediately takes the decision, pack up, we are going. We are not staying here at night. She asks Luis and Dani to handle the workshop. She herself will handle the bedrooms. Everyone starts packing things quickly, but Light is still lost in the old days. She insists to her mother to go to the hut in the woods one last time and say goodbye to Dad. Mara refuses. A fire has started, it is dangerous. Light gets very angry saying, you liar, starts throwing things and goes away. Friends, during packing, Dani asked Luis why Uncle Gustavo carved so many bears. Luis told him that Gustavo liked the mountains a lot. They always used to come here. When the bears went missing, Gustavo became very sad. Then Luis told Dani that Gustavo spent his last hours right here. That is why both of them are here, so that Mara does not have to do all this alone. It was a deep emotional moment. One brother standing at the place of his dead brother and telling the truth to the child. Here a fight broke out between Lyde and Dani over the Rubik's Cube. Dani said, this is not Lyde's house anymore. Lyde got hurt. Everyone kept packing. The car got loaded. It was time to go, but Lyde was missing. When asked Dani, he did not know anything. Mara checked the whole house, but Lyde was nowhere to be found. Luis guessed that maybe she had gone to the hut that Lida had built with her dad. Mara was frustrated because she had clearly refused, still Lida went. Mara and Luis immediately ran towards the hut. They told Elena and Dani that if Lida comes back, then call immediately. On the way, they met the neighbor Santiago. Mara asked, did you see Lida? Santiago said yes. He saw her in the hut just now. Mara felt a little relief, but Santiago asked, you know about the fire, right? Mara said yes. When they reached the hut, Lida was not there. Santiago was surprised. She was just here a minute ago. Inside, Mara's heart sank. Luis called Elena, but the signal was very low. Everyone started shouting lead in the jungle. Everything in the jungle looked the same. Just then, the police arrived. Sergeant Revuelta was the head of the missing persons unit and Corporal Baranda was with her. Mara told them that Lida is almost 9 years old. She went missing around 3 o'clock after lunch. She was wearing a white top and light blue jacket. Santiago was told as the last person who saw Lida. Sergeant asked Santiago what conversation he had with Lida. Santiago said nothing special. Lide was calm, he thought she would find her own way, and he left. Sergeant asked if it did not seem strange that a little girl was alone in the jungle. Santiago told that he is the in charge of Firebreak in the Department of Environment. The police started the search. Dogs were brought, Lide's unwashed pajamas were given for smell. Groups were made, Group 1 with Revuelta, Group 2 with Castro, 3rd with the sergeant, 4th with Portillo. Everyone spread into the jungle shouting Lide's name. Danny also wanted to go along, but Luis refused. "This is police work, son. We have to stay here. Lide will find her own way. Have faith." Just then, Sergeant said a big thing. Because of the fire, the evacuation protocol has been activated. The family has to leave the property. Mara clearly said that she is not going anywhere without her 8-year-old daughter. Sergeant explained that the roads will be closed in a few hours. This is an order. Mara replied firmly, "You cannot understand my distress. I will not evacuate without my daughter." Luis came in between and calmed things. Santiago was also told to evacuate, but Mara decided she is not going. She told Luis, Elena, and Donnie, "You 3 go, I will stay." Elena refused. "We will not leave you alone." Luis said the fire is still far. We can stay a little longer. The whole family became united. No one will go, everyone will stay together. The search continued. Groups were shouting Lide's name in the jungle. There was too much smoke. The wind had shifted. Visibility was terrible. Even the dogs could not move forward. And then that call came which destroyed Mara's world. Conditions have worsened. Wind direction has changed. Search has been temporarily stopped. When conditions improve, then they will go again. Mara broke down. She said, "I should not have shouted at Lide. I hate this stupid jungle. It wants to snatch everything." Then a painful revelation about Gustavo happened. That night, which he spent alone in the jungle, after that he changed. He accepted defeat, treatment was available, but he did not even try. Mara was completely broken. She decided, if the police have stopped the search, then she herself will find her daughter. Luis immediately agreed. He told Elena, "I will keep an eye on the fire. If the situation worsens, then I will come back immediately and take you both." Mara went to neighbor Santiago's house and asked for his car. Santiago said without hesitation, "Of course. And I will also come along. The more people, the better." But doubt had already woken up in Mara's mind. She suddenly said, "Can I check your house? Maybe Lide is hiding inside." Santiago said that he himself would have seen her, but Mara insisted. Lide was upset. "Maybe she is hiding. You might have missed her." Santiago reluctantly agreed. Mara went inside. Living room, bathroom, she checked everywhere. But there was one room which Santiago was not letting her check at all. He said, "This is my personal space. Lide is definitely not there." Mara saw mushrooms in one corner. Santiago told that these are psilocybin, a kind of medicine that helps in diseases that do not get better with conventional treatment. Mara felt uncomfortable and came out. All 3 sat in the car. Santiago started the engine. Just then Mara's eyes fell on Lide's bracelet in Santiago's car. It was the same bracelet that Mara had given to Lide. Lide never used to take it off. Santiago said, "Lide gave it to me at the hut." Mara shouted, This is a lie. Lide would never take it off herself." Then Mara saw a map in the car in which isolated area and safe area was written. Santiago told that these are notes for psilocybin rituals. He does rituals at secluded places. Mara's doubt was now confirmed. She shouted, "Where is my daughter? Give the keys." The situation suddenly became a thriller. Luis and Mara together forced Santiago. Mara went back to Santiago's house and got the locked room opened. Inside, there was a meditation space. Strange setup. Strange things. Lide was not there. Santiago kept saying again and again, "I did not do anything to Lide." Luis tied Santiago to a chair. Mara was asking, "Where is Lide?" Luis became aggressive. "You left an 8-year-old girl alone in the jungle during a fire, kept the bracelet, have ritual stuff, locked rooms, and we are the bad ones." Santiago kept apologizing but kept saying, "Lide is in the jungle, I did not do anything." Mara took Santiago's phone. Messages were found in which someone was threatening him that everyone will come to know and he will go to jail. There were photos too. On the phone, there were notes like pits as sacred spaces. Mara became even more suspicious. Santiago was trying to explain that the bracelet was lying on the ground. The shovel is for rituals. Mara told him to check outside and left Luis with Santiago. Alone, Santiago told Luis, "I had seen Lide from the car in the hut. First, I tried to take her home, but she was calm, she wanted to stay alone, so I left her. It was my mistake, I should have insisted and brought her back." That is all. When Mara came back, Santiago said emotionally, I know what you are feeling. I can never hurt any child. Then he showed a video on the phone. His little daughter was saying, did not see you the whole weekend. When will you come? We miss you. Santiago's eyes were wet. He asked Mara, just tell me, will I be able to see her again? Then Santiago revealed the biggest truth. The map and psilocybin rituals were for terminal patients, to reduce the fear of death and start a new life. And then the bombshell, that night which Gustavo spent alone in the jungle, I was with him, he had called me. Mara was stunned. Santiago said, I did not do anything bad. Gustavo found peace. In the meantime, Luis saw a video on Santiago's phone in which Santiago was showing a pit to someone for the rebirth ritual. Luis started digging the pit. Mara stopped him. Light was not in the pit. Frustration was at its peak. Just then Danny, who had been left alone, reached Santiago. Santiago said softly, Danny, open me. We will search for Light together. Danny was confused. Santiago said, your parents have caught the wrong person. Just then Mara made another revelation. Santiago was with Gustavo that night. It felt like a shock to Luis. His brother's last night was spent with someone else. Luis got furious. Elena stopped him. Stop it, call the police, and take Donnie and leave. But Mara clearly said, no, we have to ask Santiago. At that very moment, it was discovered that Donnie had freed Santiago. Santiago took Donnie and went inside the room and locked the door. Luis went crazy. My son is inside with that man. Mara did not give the keys. She said, Santiago will not hurt Danny. I want to know about Lead first. Sometime later, Santiago opened the door and came out with Danny. He said, don't drag the child into this. But Luis attacked him. Santiago took Donnie and ran, sat in the car and took him a little distance away. Elena was screaming, Danny, Mom! Santiago stopped the car and let Danny get down. He said, run, go back to them. Danny came out safely. Luis started beating Santiago badly. Mara was shouting, stop! Just then Santiago shouted, I know where Lide is. Everyone stopped. Santiago said, Light is alive, she is in the jungle. Mara immediately said, take us there. Santiago replied, I will only talk to the police. Luis kept shouting, but Santiago remained firm. Finally, everyone started walking towards the jungle with Santiago. Elena and Danny were told, if we don't return in 2 hours, then call the police. Santiago was showing the way. Straight ahead, this way, but Mara became suspicious. He was taking them towards the fire. Santiago suddenly stopped. He said, forgive me. I am sorry that you all are getting hurt. And then he ran away. Luis shouted, he ran away. Santiago disappeared in the darkness. Now the most intense moment came. Mara and Luis got separated in the jungle. Mara kept shouting Lida's name. Just then, a voice came. I'm here! I'm in a hole! I'm down here! Light had fallen into a pit and could not even move. Mara could not reach there. Santiago reached first. He saw Lide, extended his hand. Hold my hand. Lead was crying. I can't reach. Santiago brought a stick to help and pulled Lead out. Lead became unconscious. Just then Mara reached there. She saw Lead, ran and hugged her tightly. Crying, Lead said, my leg hurts a lot. Mara immediately asked, did Santiago hurt you? Lida said in a firm voice, no, I fell. A bear chased me and I fell into the pit. Santiago saved me. Mara was stunned. Lead repeated, he did not push me, he saved me. Mara's heart sank. What had they done to an innocent man? Luis also arrived. Seeing Lida, he breathed a sigh of relief. All three followed the Firebreak path and returned home. Lyde was admitted to the hospital, smoke inhalation, injury to the leg, and injury on the head. Santiago was also brought there. There were cuts on his face from Luis's beating. The doctor asked, how did these cuts happen? Santiago paused for a moment and said, a bear attacked, in the jungle. Maybe she was protecting her cubs. Luis asked, will you press charges? Santiago said with a smile, no, can you imagine a bear in jail? An unspoken understanding developed between the two. Danny apologized to Lida for being mean earlier. Lead said, it's okay, I'm sorry too. Mara was still in the jungle. Firefighters found her and told her that Lead is safe in the hospital. Mara asked, will my house burn? The firefighter replied, the fire's under control. In the end, a beautiful scene in the hospital came. Santiago came with a flower for Lide. He said, this is a fire lily. It grows only after the fire, from the ashes. I thought Lead would like it. Mara looked at him and said, I'm sure she will like it a lot. Thank you. On the screen, Firebreak flashed for the last time. Friends, this story teaches that grief is a fire that burns from inside. In fear, we end up hurting those very people who are trying to help us. Santiago gave peace to Gustavo, saved Lide, and still lied for the family. Like the fire lily, some beautiful things are born only after destruction.